G'day folks, Pakira here and welcome to another edition of How To on Elm Creek, the tutorial series I am running. Now looking at what we can see in front of us, our fields look a bit different. I have advanced a day, so we are now into September. And yeah, we've got weeds in our fields, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You'll see the weeds are over there too, and the weeds are definitely in this field as well. Let's do a little bit of morning jog. Oh boy, I need to work on my fitness. We'll just jump over here and you can see the field we planted in the last episode. It's all ready to go, but it's still got weeds as well, which you can see. So what we're going to do today now is we're going to deal with weeds. We're going to show you how to do it. The best way to do it is get it done early, as soon as you first see them, and generally that will suffice. Later on in the growth stage, you may or may not have to spray for them. I'm not a big fan or expert in the weed system, to be frank with you, because I usually turn that off in my saves because I just can't be bothered with it. So I may suggest you do that too. But let's get in. We're going to have to rent a weeder. We're going to just get a basic one that what we'll do is just trail behind us, and it will just uproot the weeds. Like I said, if you get them nice and early, then they won't get any bigger, and they do affect your yield. So if you come into press P again, reminder to come into the shop or the menu here for the tools. You go under here to weeders, double click on that, and you've got your range of weeders to choose from. We don't have big fields. I think we're going to just go for the basic one. It's a 6 meter width, and it should do the job. And it gives you, pull out the small grown weeds between crops, improving the field's state. They can only be used in the first growing stages of the crops, which is what we are dealing with here. So we're going to just jump into this one. We're going to just rent this nice and easy, lease it. Actually, how much is it? 9,000. We're going to buy it because we've got so much money, and we do have some fields to do as well. So got that done, and I will go to the shop now and pick it up. See you there. Okay, folks. We are back. We've just gone and picked up the small little weeder. Again, remember, these weeders can only be used in the first growth stage of weeds, which is basically what we're dealing with here. If you leave them too long and they get long, you need to use a sprayer. You need to use chemicals, okay? Hopefully we don't have to get to there. There is another way to permanently, in a way, remove weeds from coming up your fields, and that is through ploughing. We're going to cover ploughing in the episode we touch on when we do this field here behind us. But today, we are just starting with the basics again and what you kind of deal with as you start the game. Let's go. We're going to unfold her, pressing X. So only a 6 meter width. She's not the huge. And again, there's no need to turn this on. So you just simply lower her by pressing V. Don't know why I'm saying her, but you know what I mean. And then you just simply drive. And you'll see there, much like stones, you can kind of just cherry pick your way through from where you see the weeds. But I like to just go up and down anyway, just in case I do miss some. Some might not necessarily be popping up that you can visually see. But yeah, so it's pretty much a nice, simple process. As just like I said, with the stone picking, you can just follow the stones and see where you go. You can see we're doing our grass as well. A bit of grass care. Lovely, jubbly. The good thing is though, with the weeds, you can actually see where you've gone because the weeds are gone. And also because the plants, you may be going, hang on, your tires are huge, what's going on? You're going to squash the plants? Nah, we're good. At this stage, the tires don't do any damage to the crop. I think in reality, it's pretty much the same thing as well. It's all about pressures and blah, blah, blah. But yeah. So we don't have to worry about that. However, if we did leave these weeds to grow longer and we in a field that has been sown, then we would be using something called care tires. So they're like thin tires, yeah? And that helps and enables you to go through the fields without damaging the crop. Again, another option there. Don't want to get too into it, but there is an option in the menu where we can turn crop destruction on or off as well. So that's another one you can use to help you with that. But anyway, the simple basics here. And like I say, nice and easy. So what I'm going to do is finish this field, folks, and I'll get back to you. Okay, folks, we're coming up to our last row, and we are done. So why do you want to get rid of weeds? Pretty straightforward. They do impact your yield growth on your crops. They will, the bigger they get, just like in real life, they're gonna just, they're gonna kill your crops. They're not gonna help your crops grow to their full potential, because what weeds do, they choke and they kill all the nutrients. So, well, they don't kill the nutrients, they just take it all for themselves. Now, just to remind you what I was talking about regarding some of the options here, we go into the escape menu, pressing escape, and you go into the game options here. These options, sorry. So here under seasons and crops and growth, so you can turn the weeds off or on. Like I mentioned, I usually turn them off when I start a new save, really because I just can't be bothered with it. So yeah, maybe start with them on, see how you go, but if you turn them off, all the better. Now if you do turn them off, even the same with stones, you're still going to have them on fields or fields that the game starts with them on for you. But you can, if you're ploughing through or cultivating or whatever, you'll get rid of those anyway and they'll be gone forever. So yeah, just a couple options there for you if you want to as well. And also the one I mentioned about crop destruction, you can turn that on and off as well. But again, that only affects your crops when they're basically in their mid growth stage or more. So what we're going to do now is we're going to hook up and we're going to do one more job today before. So we've taken care of the weeds. What we need to now do is look at giving our field a bit of love and some fertilizing attention. So we'll get, I'm going to go once again to the shop and pick up a fertilizer. We're going to go and pick up something that we can use for fertilizer. Something you're probably very familiar with. I'll see you shortly. Okay, so we're at the shop again. You want to go down here under tools to fertilizer spreaders. You can use a sprayer if you want, but I would like to do is go with a solid fertilizer first. There's all sorts of fertilizer. We're just going to stick with the basics really here. Let's not go into slurry or manure. So double click into the fertilizers. Now this is the one that we are very familiar with, that we did with the fields for liming with. Actually, I'm going to just check something. I had returned it. I thought maybe I hadn't returned it, but we had. So you could use this. I mean, you can use anything you want. Okay, this does the lime as well as fertilizer here, and we are going to not need any more lime, so we're just going to stick with the basic one here. We're not going to buy this. This is a pretty good one though. It holds 3,200 litres, so it's going to be more than enough for the field size that we need. And it has a 42 metre width, so that's huge, and it will be able to track it along at 11 miles an hour. So what we're going to do, we're just going to lease this as well. I mean, we could be buying all this stuff because we do have enough money, but I'll see you back. I'm going to go pick it up from the farm. We're going to pick it up from the shop. How's that? Okay, so we're back at the shop here still. I'm just about to go and hook up to the spreader. We need to buy some solid fertilizer, so $1,800 per 1,000 litre bag. So what we're going to do is do that, and it probably holds about, what's the capacity, 3,000 odd. I'm going to get 4 bags anyway. I think it's more than enough. It's going to give us a bit of leftover as well for hopefully the next field. So that's all done now there, and we are just going to hook everything up and refill. So again, pressing Q there. There we go, we are filling it up. And one more bag. Should do the trick actually. There we go. Gives us 1 bag left. We'll just take what we can out of that small bag. Now then we'll just come back down here if we need to fill it up. Alright, so I'll close the cover there. Alright, excellent. I'll see you back at the farm, folks. So let's have a look at the state of the field first. We walk into the field just a tad, and you can see here that our yield bonus is plus 53%, so that's gone up since we took the weeds out. And fertilizer is 0. We can confirm the fertilizing state here by going escape menu, going into the map, and I'll scroll in with my mouse wheel. And you'll see for field 46, it's changed the filters here. And you'll see there, we've got all our filters selected. This field has none. Okay, so there's no fertilizer or anything. You can tell by these fields around in the blue regarding fertilizer. We've got 0, got nothing. That matches what we've got here on the field information. So just jumping back into our tractor there, I press E. So we're going to get this sorted. I don't think we have to unfold this, so it's just nice and done. Again, we can lower this if we want to, but we don't need to. It's just ready to go pretty much, and we just press B. It's got a huge spread, and I'll try and zoom out so I can see. Now, it's not always obvious where you've been compared to Farm Sim 19. It's a lot harder, I find, to really see where you have fertilized. You can use the PDA, but it's just a matter of if you go over where you've been, you should be fine. Sometimes you can zoom out and kind of a bird's eye view can almost give you an idea. It does depend. So it does make it a little bit interesting when you've got crops in there to fertilize, but it is what you know, like I said, you can always confirm anyway. But I'm just going to get to the end of field. We can confirm what we've done here by seeing now that the entirety of field 46 is covered, and it's covered in the first shade of blue, which is 1 state of fertilizer. Need to put 2 states on, but you can't do that straight away. So we've got 1 growth state of crop, as you can see here, and we've also got 1 state of fertilizer now. Okay, so we need to wait until the field grows to the next stage, which may be in October, and then we can look at applying the second dose of fertilizer. But you'll look at the info panel there and you'll see the fertilizing state is now 50%, and the yield bonus has gone up to 75%. So with the 1 more phase of fertilizing, we should get that to 100% fertilized and a yield bonus of as close as we can to 100%. So we've done everything correctly. We should be able to get to 100% with that anyway. All right. So folks, that is all for today's episode. A little touch on there with weeds and also fertilizer. Again, we do need to put a second state of fertilizing on, which we will get around to doing, I hope, and might have to forward the game a fair bit. But we'll get to that anyway, and that will give us our full growth full fertilizing states. Now, we use solid fertilizer for this. If I recall, we do need to make sure the second application of fertilizer is something other than solid. So the best option for us will be to buy a sprayer or rent a sprayer and put some liquid fertilizer on the field. But that is all for the very basics of everything, really. Second state of fertilizer. However, it's not the end of the series. I want to do one more video, and maybe a one episode or 2-part episode, and we're going to introduce something called ploughing, which I have kind of touched on, but we haven't really mentioned it too much. And what we're going to do, this field here is going to be hauled as I would do it from the beginning to pretty much this state. Okay, we're going to do that as well. Now, it's going to be interesting with the crop calendar here, what we can plant. We're going to go into October probably. We can do wheat or barley. So we will probably look at doing wheat. It's nice and easy, and it was what was in there already. So we'll get that sorted. So yes, we're going to go through the whole process in one field over a course of a couple of episodes possibly. So we're going to start with ploughing, and then we're going to go into the rest. So you'll have a better idea, hopefully, following along after the ploughing stage. Remember, we have already limed this field, so we don't have to worry about this. We don't have to worry about taking the weeds out, and I'll show you why in the next episode. I did touch on it because of something called ploughing. Anyway, enough jibber jabber. Hope you have enjoyed this episode. If you've got any further questions or queries or anything, hit me down below in the comments. More than happy to clarify or help you out. Till next time, take care of yourselves and each other. I am Parkera. Kia kaha.